Episode 4, Queens Create Dreams. We've got the amazing Amy Mingin here. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome,
I'm so
Amy.
excited.
Oh, thank you so much. Now, usually how we start our podcast is we like to ask what we're grateful for today.
I'm so grateful for the winter sun.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Where I live, it's like a tree house and it's amazing and it's beautiful. And as I work, I can see all the trees and I can see all the sun, but the sun doesn't come into my house. So it is cold. So as soon as I get out in that sunshine, I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's so good.
How lucky are we to live in Queensland?
Oh my gosh, it is the best.
It is the best. What are you grateful for today, sweetheart?
I'm grateful for the people that surround me and inspire me.
Yeah.
That is what I'm grateful for.
Oh, amazing.
What are you grateful for?
I had a beautiful walk with my dog this morning and I love it. It was so nice because I didn't want to get out of bed. Not going to lie. So comfy and cozy. It's like, nope, time to get out. And I was very grateful I did.
Absolutely.
It's
Yay.
that cold. It's so cold.
Yeah. I don't think anyone regrets the walk that they take.
No, absolutely not. No. Now, Amy, tell us about your journey. I've known you for a few years now. You are absolutely inspiring in so many ways, seriously. And you have helped me grow personally and through my business as a person. Now, you are a mindset coach, naturopath, health scientist. You practice NLP, hypnosis. The list goes on. You have,
Wow.
I think you've started over 6 businesses at 6 figures.
Yes.
How do you juggle that?
And an amazing mum to 2 beautiful children.
Yes.
With a beautiful husband.
Correct. And I would say straight up with that question, my husband does heaps. So for me
I
to
need
be
to
able
find
to
one of
juggle,
those.
yeah, that is the big help for me. Like he's such a supporter and he does a lot of the kid stuff. So I don't have to be like super duper hands-on all the time, which is super helpful. So time-wise, I have the time to be able to put it into the business and into the things that really float my boat, which is so good. And the weeks that he goes away, well, they're the weeks that I dial back on some things that I do. And that's all perfect too. But if you want to know more about the journey, so I started out actually as an energy healer, a massage therapist, and it was back in like about 2006, I would have started that. And I was working at a health food store and I was studying naturopathy and had already done like the start of a different degree in human movement. So I've always been into health, into exercise science, all of that sort of stuff. And I just kept looking for like that next thing. I think that this is just so normal for humans to like, oh, well, what's next? What's next? What's next? Because it wasn't quite as holistic as what I thought it would be. And when I started seeing clients, I was like, I can see that this is happening with them, but I can't get to that level because I didn't yet have the tools and resources to help them. So I kept finding different courses to do and trialing different things to do and always used myself as the guinea pig first, which is why I've done so many courses because I wanted to go through things and forward my own development. And then I figured out how to put that in and weave it into a business. So that really is the short version. And there's been lots of like, peaks and troughs in that time. And also there's so many situations where I would say now I'm more of I make the most of opportunities, that I can see how things are working out and see how things are panning out. And it's like, oh, wow, this is a really cool opportunity right now. And so that, to circle around to the 6 businesses, it's like that's how I got the 6 businesses started and running, is because I had these multiple things that I really enjoyed and I could see a way to make money from it and help people.
And when you say about helping people, what does that look like?
Okay, well, in the health sense, I have run a really successful women's health clinic and employed other people to work in that for me while I was getting all the coaching up and running. So I also had a VA business, so I was helping lots of coaches and entrepreneurs get their businesses scaling by utilizing VAs. I built that to 6 figures really fast and then sold it because I just didn't love the admin side of it. What I've realized is I'm more visionary and a connector than one of those like implementer style people. So when it comes to the admin, it was like, oh, that was so draining. So I really had to bring in managers to manage all these things. And then I was like, oh, I could actually, like, this is all set up now. I could just sell that. And it was so good just to package it up and sell it. I've got lots of online courses that help practitioners. So a lot of practitioners, I've worked with a lot of nutritionists and a lot of naturopaths and alternative health providers where they're just stuck in their clinic all day long. And they're like, there's got to be more to life. I work with those ones because they have a vision, but they're not sure how to bring the vision to life.
And is that through mindset coaching?
Mindset coaching, business coaching, like helping them. One of the things that I help them out with a lot is changing their business model, because a lot of them, they just get burnt out because they're seeing people one-on-one all day long, 5 days a week. And they're like, I just keep repeating myself. I don't think that there's anything else to life if I keep going to this. And I'm like, okay, well, let's figure out what it is that you want. What do you love? And then how can we package that up in a place where you can go and help more people than what you're currently helping? So helping them package things up into group programs or online programs where they don't actually have to be in it in order for people to access the information. So
with that, because, you know, when we're business owners, we like to have control.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that then that they learn to delegate a bit more? Like, is that where they
Not
get
in the beginning.
Not in the beginning. I know. Like I said, we all like to have control, especially when it comes to our business and our brand and perception, because that service is what we've portrayed already to our customers. So it's hard to let go without knowing whoever's taking that position on. Whether it be in the marketing component, the customer service component, the branding aspect as well.
Yeah.
So what are the steps you take to change that mindset, and what do you say that they can achieve more by doing that?
So first of all, it's about them being willing to change, because if they keep doing what they've always done, nothing's going to change. So it's first of all that willingness and openness to be like, well, what is it that I want, and what does it take to have the thing that is what I'm wanting? So if they want to scale their business from, say, 80 grand a year to 300 grand a year, it's like, well, what are the steps involved with that? And what is it that they're trying to hold on to that is really, I like to look at the Pareto's principle, which is the 80-20 rule, a lot. I apply this to life a lot. And often I'll show them like their one-on-one clinic that they're holding on to really tight. They could just put someone in and pay them an hourly rate. And yes, no one does a treatment plan like you do, and no one prescribes like you do. I get it. And also this, you're paying someone an hourly rate. You get a percentage of what they're charging for that consult, plus you get the percentage of everything else that's happening in that business. All of a sudden, you're sitting up the top. You get all of that income stream, and then you get to work on the business and actually scale the business. So that's just one example of where people have put in multiple of practitioners underneath them and then sat at the top and been able to not only have that money and income come in there, it's equal to, if not the same amount to what they were making by themselves, plus they're able to go and forward whatever it is that they want to create. So some of them go on to be coaches, or some of them go on to do psych, or some of the, you know, they do something else. They pursue another interest, so they're actually able to then hold this bigger space and create more impact in the world. So
that just shows change is good.
Absolutely.
Change is great.
Absolutely. But it's scary. Like that's the thing, like the subconscious mind, it wants to keep us safe. And most of the time, and circle back around to Pareto's principle, most of the time people are focused on the 80% that only brings in the 20% income.
So can you go a bit more about the Pareto's principle and what that entails and what that's all about?
Yeah, sure. The 80-20 rule. So it's 80%. Usually what happens, 80% of what we're focused on will only bring in the 20% of the income, or 20% of the results. But if you were to circle in on, okay, who are my biggest paying clients? Who do I love working with the most? Usually they're like hand in hand the same people. And even if you just went for just a few of them and you focused and honed in on that 20%, all of a sudden that 20% is bringing in the 80% income. It's such a huge shift mindset-wise, but also what we do with our energetics. Where do we focus our time? So many people are just like stuck in their accounting and they haven't got an accountant. I'm like, what are you doing?
Accounting's so boring.
I'm like, get yourself a bookkeeper, girl.
Imagine how much money you would
Absolutely.
save on tax.
Oh my Lord.
And time.
Yeah, time. And
Yes.
time is money.
Time is
It
money.
is 100%. And yet they get stuck in this nitty-gritty detail because they want to be in control. And yet that control is preventing them from growing.
Yeah, I love that. And getting back to energetics, and I'm really into quantum shifting at the moment.
Great.
And I've been listening to your podcast. So here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. And it's been really, really helping me. And also using for my mindset your meditations
Yes.
through Insight Timer. And I'll go a little bit personal, but since I was about 12 years old, I have to go to the toilet at least 2 times a night because of my bladder. I just am busting always. And when I went away, my friend Lauren's like, mate, you need to get that checked out. I was like, okay. Anyway, we had a really good conversation. And you said, do this body scan about releasing, every night before you go to bed. The first night I did it, I had 6 hours straight sleep, only going to the toilet once. And this was because I honed in to my mind and visualized every part of my body, which has helped me tremendously. I've been doing it every night this week.
Yes.
5 to 6 hours, like straight. So when you're talking about the 80-20% rule, and when I'm trying to do all this like strategic stuff with my mind, I feel like the 80% is all strategic stuff, but I haven't been doing the 20% work inside. Do you think that helps doing all the inner work first, even though it's only 20%?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think all of it plays a role.
Yeah.
So if this is the first time, and I think also growth happens exponentially in the beginning, and then it plateaus, and then people think it's not working. But what they're doing, it goes like this. It's not linear. It does this like rolling hill method. So for you right now, you've had exponential results because you've started doing the internal work.
Yes.
And over time, you'll adapt to that. But it'll be your new set point. And so then you'll be like, okay, so what's next?
Yes.
Yeah? And then you're like, okay, cool. Well, I don't need to pee at nighttime anymore. This is great. I'm waking up with more energy. This is great.
Yes.
Like you'll have more mental clarity. Like there's such a knock-on effect once you get that key,
Yes.
particularly in your health.
Yeah.
And because what's happening in the background is it's telling your subconscious mind, it's saying, I'm safe. I'm safe. Here I am again, I'm safe. And as soon as you can reiterate to your body that it's safe, it's non-symptomatic. Like the body in its normal sense is healthy.
Yes.
And anything that deviates from that will cause what we call dis-ease.
Yes.
Dis-ease only comes from a stress of some sort. Usually it's self-treatable, but we create it for ourselves as well because we're here to learn. We're here to experience. But the moment that we can be like, oh, I'm doing it again, and bring that awareness, it's like, oh, cool, there we go. And I'm on track again.
Yeah.
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 So what are your top mindset techniques that you would recommend to whether the individual person or business owners? Like, what are your recommendations?
Depends on what their goals are. But I'm a huge believer that as you wake up in the morning, that is the most important time of the day.
That routine, that morning routine.
Yeah, but what happens in your mind as soon as you wake up? So sometimes I'm awake before my alarm. I'll give you a personal example here. Sometimes I'm awake before my alarm, and if I'm not consciously aware of what my thoughts are doing, I will always talk about like play your hand. So it's like in life, we get given our own hand of cards. So like I've got a health card, I've got a wealth card, I've got a business card, I've got like this connection card. Like we've got all these different cards that we're really good at, right? If you forget to look at your hand and be consciously improving your hand and playing your hand every single day, life will play you. So pick up your hand of cards every single day and be consistent with it. And it doesn't mean just because I get given the health card for this lifetime that I just leave it. I'll go have Maccas. I'll go like ignore the sunshine. I will think negative thoughts, all that stuff. No. That means that's my hand. That means that I actually get free access to that. I'm going to make the most of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So like if you're so consciously aware of what your thoughts are first thing in the morning, if it happens that there's a negative thought, for example, like sometimes that'll happen, right? You might wake up and you think a negative thought. You might still be halfway in a dream and a bit like out of it. Quickly shift into, okay, here I am and I'm in my body and I'm here and I can take a breath and here is my positive thought for the day. Here is my positive intention for the day. That is the most important thing that anyone could do, mindset-wise, is that quick reframe first thing in the morning. Then, yes, morning routine is really important. Absolutely. Drink water. And I always say breath work is really important too, like reoxygenating the body first thing in the morning. Usually I'm up before the sunshine, but if the sun is shining when you wake up, go outside and get sunshine in your eyes. Like all those 3 little things are going to change your world. And people are like, oh, but isn't there like a detox thing I should take? And isn't there a da-da-da? And I'm like, no, actually, like just go and do the most basic things and your body knows exactly what to do. And then that will change the trajectory of your life because energetically you're ready to show up for it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I definitely believe in that health card. Like as recent times, only a month ago, I got diagnosed with functional neurological disorder. God, that's a tongue twister and a half. But at the beginning when I got diagnosed, I was like, oh my God, like what's going on? You know, you get in that depressed state of mind, especially because my mum got diagnosed with a brain disease at a similar age to me.
Wow.
So it was very confronting. And yes, I did go into a bit of a hole just for a couple of days. Like I'm a pretty strong person when it comes to mindset. One of the reasons we've done this podcast is exactly that, is how we can use our mind to be so powerful no matter what trauma we go through. Yeah. But last Sunday was the first time, so my mobility on my left side all went. Wow. And over time it keeps coming and going. I've gone and saw the neurologist again going like, what can I do? Like, why is it one day I'm okay and one day I'm not? But to your theory of starting the morning with the health card, on Sunday, so I haven't been able to run and I've been able to walk slightly. It's painful. Sometimes it's dull. Sometimes I can't even walk up my stairs at home. Wow. But that day, last Sunday, I took the health card and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something that I thought I really can't do. And it was hard, but I went for my first run. And look, I run like an absolute spastic. I'm not kidding you. And so people around me would be like, what is wrong with her? But I was like, I'm determined. It doesn't matter what I look like. It's like the Forrest Gump kind of run.
I'm sure it's not.
No, it seriously is. It is.
It.
I'm like limping and running at the same time.
But it just shows.
No, but it shows with your mindset.
Yeah.
Because so that was last Sunday. What are we now? Thursday. I went for another run this morning and I'm slightly better.
Great,
yeah.
So I'm still limping and looking like spastic.
You so won't be.
But taking that health card going, no. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing this till I get my mobility back. And that's something that it had told me, is that you need to use all the limbs as if you were normal.
Absolutely.
But I also manifest every morning. So that's how I wake up and I either listen to a podcast or I read Healing Manifest.
Perfect.
And I think since I started doing that, and when did I start doing that? Like beginning of the year, my mind's so much stronger. So from like if I hadn't been starting doing that at the beginning of the year, I would have got out of hospital and felt like I was the victim and down in the dumps and done nothing and not done the exercise and been in bed crying and, you know, feeling sorry for myself. But I've done the reverse and I feel so good and so empowered. And we have jokes, Sarah and I, about this. It's like I came out of hospital and I said to my CEO, I kind of need a break. Like I just need to take a step back from listing and selling right now. That week, I got 7 listings. The week after, I got 6 more. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So it just shows you can go through whatever traumatic experience and come out the other end on a
Literally.
positive side.
For sure. Absolutely.
So how do you feel the way that you've empowered so many women to create their success and dreams?
Oh, I feel awesome about it because it's all like that's my mission is to help people realize that they can make informed decisions, that the cards that they're dealt, they don't just have to only ever use those cards, but it's also about like finding the depths within your cards because people will be like, oh, but I only know how to teach people. And it's like,
Because you're in that spot.
if you're in that, if you can teach people, you can teach them anything, but they only see like these teeny tiny boxes that they've only ever learned, right? So it's about like really delving into who are you and what are you here for and what do you really love to do, and like being able to help people discover that about themselves is phenomenal. It's a real gift.
So when we go to manifesting, so it's all well like me sitting here being like, I am positive, but the majority of it, I need to feel it, right? So energetically and align myself and then be that person I want to be in the future. Yeah? Would there be any other tips? Because I'm frothing manifesting right now.
Okay.
Do you want all of it?
I want to
Want my
let you guys
prize
in
home.
on like the best thing that I ever learned about it. Because it's like people, if I go, you can have anything you want, what do you want? So people might be like, all right, so I want this car and I want to be able to walk into this shop and buy these clothes. And I want to be able to go into a restaurant and buy the expensive thing and not even look at the menu price. And I want to be able to buy this house and I want to be able to go on holidays. Like these are all really common things that people will say. And I go, right, cool. So what they're really looking for, this is what I see underneath it, is like, all right, so if they want a particular look, they're looking for a particular status, like there's a particular identity that they wish to embody. So what is the feeling of that identity? They're wanting a feeling. When they're talking about a house, they want security. When they're talking about money, they want to be able to make choices. They want freedom. They want to be able to. So sometimes people are saying, if I ask them that, they're like, I just don't want to feel stressed about money. And it's like, if you talk about it in the negative, your brain goes stressed about money. It doesn't hear the negative. That's one thing about the unconscious mind. It will only hear things in the positive. So whatever you're saying, realize what the emotion is, number one, and embody that emotion more often. So for me personally, when I achieve a goal, I'm in awe. So AWE. So people will say gratitude, but for me, it's more awe. It's like, I just did that.
Yeah, and celebrate.
Oh my God, I just did that. So it's a little bit surprised and then I get in awe because I'm like, I didn't realize I could do that. That's so cool. And then I get excited. So it's a very quick like this to this to this. So I can embody that with really minor things in my life. Like yesterday, it was so cool. I had this client session at a cafe, got up to grab some sparkling water, came back to the table and I was like, oh, there's $2.
Was that your lucky $2?
Yeah.
Did you pick it up?
Yeah, of course
Did you
I
make
did.
a wish?
I did. I just say thank you.
Okay.
I receive thank you.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's things like that. So it's like straight away I'm into like that. Oh, I did that. Oh, that's really cool. So you can do it with really minor things. Don't walk past the 5-step piece, people. Be grateful. Like if that's your signature, be grateful for it. But figure out your own signature. Like when you achieve something, if you're an achiever, which a lot of people are, figure out what you feel on the other side of it. Bring that in more often. That's actually what gets you in alignment with your manifestations.
That's great.
Yes. The emotion is the most important part. And I think that a lot of people explain it as like, visualize it, this, that. But a lot of people feel pressured when they get into those sorts of visualizations unless they can visualize really easy, which I know you can and I can too, but not everyone can. So they're like, I can only feel it or I can only think it. I can only write about it. It's like, it's okay. So long as you can bring that emotion and you know what your emotional signature is, you can bring anything in, like literally. That's what I love about manifestation.
You can have it all.
You literally can.
You can.
So long as you know how to feel
believe
the
it.
feeling.
Yes.
Because let's talk about money for a minute. the big thing that people get controlled with money is this feeling of not enough. So all they keep bringing is the feeling of not enough. And they'll bring it in multitudes of ways, in their behaviors, in their beliefs, in the way that they talk. They freak out every time they go to tap their card. Here's a really big tip. Every time you tap your card, just say in your head, plenty more where that came from.
I like that. Because usually
That's
I say,
what I'm
"Thank
going to
you."
do. Does that mean it just keeps going up on my card?
Well, that's what I was doing and it doesn't. So I was looking at it as a scarcity point of view. So I get it. So you've got to feel it. It's the feeling.
It's the holding of
More's
like,
coming.
I have so much coming in. And like for me, because I'm visual, I visualize it coming in. Like my left side's my receiving side. And I visualize it coming in. And every time I go, tap, plenty more where that came from. And so it's a pleasurable experience as opposed to like growing up, I always kind of freaked out spending money. I was like,
I did
ooh.
too.
It was like once I cracked that 50, all of a sudden it was gone. I was like, oh, I don't know where that went. Yeah. And I had no idea how to manage it. But money loves to have purpose. You want more money? Give it a purpose. So for example, if you're saving for a house, then put that money towards that house every single week or every single month or however often you want to or can.
Yes. Consistency is the key. Like if you don't do it consistently, you're not going to save.
Absolutely. And people get scared to save. They're like, but isn't that a scarcity thing? Not at all. It's the security thing. And it's in alignment. If you think about it, okay, the person who says they want a house, the house brings security and it brings safety. The best way to bring security and safety is consistently saving.
Yes.
Think about it. It's so in alignment energetically. But then there's going to be someone else who's like the YOLO type. It's like, spend it.
Look, I'm in a state at the moment. I'm just like booking random solo trips everywhere around the world. And I'm a saver. I'm normally a saver. So I'm doing the YOLO.
I think that it's important to like test it out though, right?
Well, I'll tell you when I get back if I tested it out and if it was worth it.
I'm sure it will be.
Well, also, like, maybe that's your thing. Like, what is the energy you're wanting to bring in by doing the YOLO? Like, you're wanting to live, right? You want the adventure. You want the excitement. So you're in alignment with that, which is, it's all perfect. Whereas if you wanted the safety and the security, you would be saving. So you're just doing, you're acting in behavioral patterns. And this becomes your manifestation signature. So
I'm not going for a midlife crisis.
Not at all. You're in alignment. You're in alignment with adventure. I think it's exciting and it's awesome. Enjoy it. The only problem happens is if you make yourself feel bad about it. You know what I mean? Because the previous version of you is like over here like, you're doing YOLO. Excuse me, aren't you supposed to be safe?
It's like your own devil. It's your devil in your own head.
That's it. But it's just like, hey, hang on a minute. I'm living in alignment with what I want right now. I'm good. Thanks. Thanks for your worry, but I'm good.
That's what we spoke about the other day, actually, about me being the driver and, you know, there's a Sarah in the back with this wild red hair. And she's like, no, don't do this. Don't do that. No, stay safe with me. And I just have to say, no, I'm good. I'm safe. I've got this. You can relax, right?
Literally.
Yeah. That's with so many things in life.
Absolutely.
Just pops up. Don't do that. No, I'm doing it. Because that's when you're doing things and it's the growth when you're uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
She wants to keep you comfortable and safe.
And also think about it though too. Like I often think of this situation because I've heard of, I haven't read her book, but there's a book called The 5 Regrets of the Dying by a lady called Bronnie Ware. And I've heard her speak on multiple podcasts and she comes up like on different clips that I see. But I've got the gist of what she says. It's like she was a palliative care nurse, so she's watched lots of people pass, talked to lots of old people, lots of people dying. And it gets me thinking, do I, like if I'm at a decision and I'm scared to make the decision, I'm like, all right, Amy, if you're on your deathbed, is this a story you'd want to tell? Or is this a regret that you would have that you didn't do? Take the friggin' risk. And I just go do it.
That's a big thing to ask yourself, isn't
Right.
it? Isn't it amazing?
Right? That's how I make decisions. It's like, do you want to die with this inside you? No, then go do it.
I love that.
Oh, I'm a big believer. You live every day as if it was your last, because you don't know what happens, whether it be your health or next day you're on the road and you have a car crash. Like,
We don't
you
know.
actually don't know. So you really needed to take control of your own life and be happy every day.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There's no point of having one day being miserable.
No.
I agree.
No. And you can't worry about what other people think either.
Oh, no, I don't care.
Sometimes that plays in my mind, oh, what's this person going to think? Who cares? You're not hurting anyone.
I'll go into a coffee shop with foils in my hair. I have no care about what anyone thinks about me. And I'll have the waitress go, are you okay? And I'm like, yep, I certainly am. Can I have a coffee?
Yep.
I wanted to talk to you about your amazing group with so many women you're helping called The Catalyst.
Yes.
Can you talk to me about that? Because
Yeah.
it's on my mind.
Is it?
It is on my mind.
Oh, I love this.
Yes, and I've spoken to a few women in the group saying that it's amazing and they've been able to release so much weight from their body. Like, I'm talking kgs and kgs and kgs in such a small amount of time.
Yeah.
And it's all to do with the mind and the food. And, yeah, talk to me about it.
All right. So before we go into Catalyst, I want to talk to you guys about how intentional this program is. And this is what I mean by like going to the depths of me playing my cards. Like, I'm really playing my hand on this one. So like 16 years I've been a naturopath, and I've mostly worked with women in that whole time. So I've heard the women tell me all these stories about the things that limit them. So I haven't told you guys this about the cards, right? On one side of your card, you've got liberation or freedom, and that's by doing the things. On the other side, it's limitation. So if you're putting your card out and you're like, today I'm in limitation mode, you're fighting for your limitations. Everything that comes out is just like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, but what are they going to say about me? All of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's when you're fighting for your limitations. So I was considering all these women over the years have said all these things, and I'm like, what do women want? They want more energy. They want to live vital lives. They want to be able to do the things that they do. They want to be able to look really great, feel really great, wear the things that they want to wear. They want to connect with people. They want to be able to really access their best selves. But usually they think that they all need to lose weight, almost all of them. And I'm like, okay, so this is one of those situations where I'm like, I'm going to sell it to them like their brain is telling them that that's what they need. But what they actually get is a very intentional program that I've put together that covers, and I usually draw a triangle, and it's like mind, body, and spirit. Because a lot of women who come into the program have only ever focused on like two aspects of this, which is why they never are happy with their health or their weight or their body or their mindset. So sometimes the spiritual ones will have done heaps of spirit and mind. They're like, I do mindset and I connect with spirit. I have my spirit guides and blah, blah, blah. And like, so good. But over here, their poor old physical body usually is super overweight, super unhealthy. They're not doing so well. They got lots of symptoms. Or it'll attract in like the woman who's been obsessed with her body, and she's starting to learn stuff about her mind. So she's only doing like body, mind. She's already going to the gym. She's already tried like all sorts of different macro counting and all sorts of things like that. And maybe she doesn't even really need to lose weight, but she's really wanting to increase her vitality. And then sometimes there's the one she's super fit and she's starting to learn her spiritual side, and she's like, oh, I've just been drawn to do this. So what it does is I have recorded audios, and they listen to the audios each day, and the audios are hypnosis tracks. And so it gets them into their body and has them talk to themselves, basically, because they get to learn exactly what I say every single time, and it's getting them in alignment with their most healthy self, doing the habits that their healthy self does, feeling the feeling of what their healthy self feels like, imagining what they look like, stepping into that body every single day. So that's the morning one. Then they've got a mindfulness walk that they do each day, and then there's an evening hypnosis to help them go to sleep, which also has lots of positive reinforcement as to how great a day they had, how grateful they are. It's literally changing the brainwaves. So that's that. They get their own personalized nutrition, which is focused on anti-inflammatory. Now, when the body gets the food as medicine, because I have been a lecturer in food as medicine before at university level, so I'm just like, I love this stuff. When people get the medicine that they need, it's not about the drugs or the supplements or anything. Most people don't even need supplements on the program. And I'm a naturopath, and lots of naturopaths, like you'll walk away from a naturopath with like 8 supplements, and I just don't think it's necessary. Food has it, but it's about finding the right foods for you. So as you come in, you get a questionnaire. I look at your questionnaire and I create your own personalized plan with specific foods based on that and based on your goals. Some people don't even really need to release any weight, but the ones who do have weight to release, I'll check in with their portion sizes. And then they get to work. It's really specific and it's very structured, which some people are very resistant to. But think about it this way. If you have the structure for the first time in your life, you don't need to check in and be like, am I doing this right? Am I doing it? Am I doing it? Oh, I didn't get the thing that I needed this week. You're not like trying to intuitively guess or yo-yo between different theories. You just have your plan, you follow your plan, and the plan works every time. And so that's where all the results are coming from. Typically, they release 8 kilos in 8 weeks.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I saw one lady, her before and after photos in like a week or 2 in those pair of jeans that she bought and never tried on. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. I put her on my stories yesterday, Sarah. She's 20 kilos down in 4 months.
Wow.
It's just releasing.
It's wild. Yeah.
And that's just from mind and food.
Literally. Yeah. And so she never used to exercise either. So I've got her walking and she took it upon herself to enter a fun run. So she's still well overweight, but she's released a lot. And she went in a fun run and ran a whole 5K by herself without stopping. First time she's ever run in her adult life, and which is just like phenomenal. She has absolutely changed her life.
It shows that you can change at any age of your life. Absolutely. Like it comes down to you.
Yeah.
100%.
Wanting to.
Yeah. 100%. So like if you think about it that way, the emotions that a lot of women have around their food, the emotions they have around their body, the emotions that they have around their mindset, it's so intertwined. And so this gives you the space to be able to be held in it so that you can actually heal from it. Because a lot of women, they just think that they're going in a weight loss program, but it's so not a weight loss program. It's so much more. And so I love getting that feedback from them. Oh, I did this and I've done that and I feel like this and I fit into this. And another one just texted me this morning. She's like, I just went op shopping with my sister in Sydney and I picked up these designer jeans and they fit and they were a size 12. Haven't been a size 12 since before I had kids. She's had 5 kids.
What a great story.
So cool, right?
Yeah.
So cool.
So if there are any women out there who want to jump on Catalyst or want to get to know you, you've got your website out?
Yeah, I have a website, amymingin.com.
Yep.
You can connect with me. I'm Amy Mingin on all the different platforms. So I'm on Instagram mostly. I'm on Facebook and I'm also on TikTok.
I love that.
We all love our TikTok these days.
Oh, yes. No, that's amazing. Well, we really appreciate you having, like, you being here and having you on our podcast. There's so much more to, you know, talking to ourselves. It goes on such a deeper level. So I think you're going to really help so many women out there who's going to listen to the podcast today. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Amy. So let's get it, girls.
Let's get it, girls.